there, Postal here. So today we're going to be taking out one of my favorite planes in the game, honestly, the J7W2. This is Tier 9 Japanese multi-role fighter. Just a really good all-around fighter. Why do I like this plane so much? Well, it's really hard-hitting. You have 4 30mm cannons on here. You do some incredible damage incredibly quickly. Yeah, you got 2 little bombs on here. For a long time I didn't have the 2 little bombs on here, but they do come in very, very handy when you need to flip a sector sometimes. You have pretty darn good maneuverability. Not quite fighter maneuverability, but not definitely better than multi-role. So yeah. Let's get some of these shots out here. Get some ground damage done. Oh, probably didn't even need to drop my bomb there. Cool. Let's go ahead and turn around and delete a plane. Maybe delete a plane? Where are you at? There you are. What the hell's going on here? Everybody and their brothers on me, huh? Ouch. AA got me. Diggity dang. So should have looked at what we're up against. So we're in a tier 10 battle, huh? Against an EF-131. Good thing we got an HG3, I guess. But an HG3 will eventually be countered by that. That 131 will eventually come out on top. Just because the way the bombers are built. So let's get going. So this is the first jet available on this particular line. And being a Japanese plane, it's not overly fast. But it's fast enough. You definitely notice a difference in speed once you get to this particular plane. The J7W1 at tier 8 is still quite a slow machine, and like this one definitely has a huge burst in speed that you did not have at tier 8. Hello, Jawa. Alright, what are we up against here? Up and over. So you can see you've got really good maneuverability. These are basically, for all intents and purposes, the same guns that you would have on the HG2 and the HG3, the German tier 9 and 10 heavy fighters. That's how strong these are. That's how hard they hit. You can't tell by how much damage I'm doing, how quickly I'm doing it. Let me just tell you that. Oh wow, look, they're EF-131. Got both the mining facilities. I am super surprised. You know what, let's get over to this mining facility. We've got our bombs back. Let's see what we can do over here to help get this mining facility. The guns are going to be able to help get this sector, which is the great thing about this plane. I'd like to think that the guns will be able to get this part just by themselves. There we go, perfect. Perfect again. Setting all kinds of things on fire here. We do have a heavy fighter, but he's up a lot higher. Excellent. Oop. We might have screwed this up. Wasn't paying attention to the MiG. But I think we can outturn him. Yes, we can. Excellent. We didn't want him around here anyway. Let's drop a bomb here, shall we? There we go. Got the mining facility. Bet that's not something that you would think that a Jawa could do. But this one definitely can. The Tier 8's guns are pretty strong, but just the Tier 9, they like double in output. It's really quite crazy, really quite awesome. Let's head over here, see if we can't defend a little bit. Let's get up and go, baby. Got a lot of planes around us right now. We need to be mindful of what's inbound. Got some heavy planes that are around us that could easily start hitting us. God dang it. That's how it always is. I was gonna say, that's how it always is sometimes, which would be contradicting myself. Alright, I guess we'll just head back over here and see if we can't cap it back. Because that's what we are. This is what I like about this plane. If you need to be the aggressor, if you need to be the attacker, this plane can do it. Let's get rid of the air targets first. Before I even try to worry about the ground targets. Come on, 30s. You know you want to work. Seriously? Alright. I guess I didn't want the 30s to hit anything anyway.
Be advised, a line of thunderstorms is approaching. We'll soon be unable to provide support.
Seriously?
Over.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh shoot. Don't need a heavy fighter on my boot. I'm pretty sure those cannon shots should be hitting. Thank you. Come again. Oh, hello. I know you. Yeah, you learned your lesson last time. Don't head on a Jawa. The F-84 is one of the more maneuverable multi-rolls. Just not quite as maneuverable as this plane. Excellent. Let's go ahead and what do we need to do? We need to move along. Doing some heavy lifting here. That HG3 is definitely doing. Is this 3? Yeah, the HG3 is definitely doing some heavy lifting as well. Hello, lady. Let's go ahead and see if we can't air brake and pneumatic control assist the way to get this guy knocked out. Up and over if we can. There we go. Let's see if we can't get our boost on, huh? Let's see if we can't get over to one of these sectors really quick. Probably not. Nope, just not enough time. Is this heavy fighter coming towards us? Let's see if we can't get him a little bit. Get some shots in. Ah! Close. After that, still came in just second there. Wow. Well, Andre is really good, though. Good teamwork between him and I, even though we weren't anywhere near each other. I think we were both probably doing exactly what we needed to do to come out on top against that top-tier bomber. Let's head back. All right, so was able to get a decent all-around game, and that's what I continue to get out of this plane, surprisingly enough. This plane is just really actually quite well balanced as far as both air and ground attack is concerned. Our colleague here in the Tier 10 heavy fighter was able to get a lot of bomber and ground attack kills, 12 overall kills, 15,000 basically, air damage done there. I'm assuming he killed this guy quite a bit. He did 3 times. Made that guy. And Missouri Marauder is a really good player if you run into him. I mean, think of it this way. He got 11,000 plus personal points while dying 4 times. Yeah, that's a little bit on the EF-131, but Missouri Marauder is a really, really good player, really good pilot. So keep that in mind as well. We didn't really... We had to do a little bit of everything. We had to do more attacking, though, than we would normally do in this particular plane. Apparently we didn't kill anybody while defending, which I find kind of odd. But I felt like we did some... I mean, obviously we didn't. The game says we didn't, so we must not have. We did some capturing, obviously. We captured 3 sectors. Even that mining facility. Yeah, we're not going to capture a mining facility on our own. But what we're able to do is help supplement a bomber or a GA. Sometimes they'll leave those one sectors, one little part of a section that's not capped, or not flipped, I should say, destroyed. And so this plane is excellent at supplemental damage. This plane is excellent at, the bombs aren't huge, but they're just enough to get a section. The guns are really, really strong, and so they can take out light targets on the ground very, very easily. They're very, very strong. Shotgun effect against other airplanes. Obviously, you saw me taking out quite a few airplanes. Just pelting the enemy aircraft with these guns. They're ridiculous. They're just absolutely ridiculous. So I really enjoy this plane. A Tier 10 as well, has the same guns. Obviously, just a tier higher. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I've fallen for this plane as when I attempted as a joke to get a Gabreski in it and got a Gabreski in it. Actually taking a look here, I know I died, but 14 kills and 6 ground targets destroyed. I wasn't even trying, but if I didn't die, I probably would have gotten a Gabreski here. So think about that, because if I hadn't died, I would have been able to get another ground target or another air targets or whatever. Wouldn't have been able to, wouldn't have had to spend a whole minute reloading into the battle. And so an extra minute's worth of time of me being alive, I could have stumbled onto a Gabreski. If I really focus on it, I can't say I can get it every time, so I want to make that perfectly clear. But me in this plane, doing both air and ground damage, if you're aiming for the right targets, can be incredibly impactful. And that's what I want in my multi-rolls. And this has moved up on my list of like what multi-rolls are really good in the game. I want my multi-rolls to be able to do whatever I need to do to win the battle. If that means killing air targets, great, let's do that. And you guys know I love frickin' dogfighting. I love taking out, air-to-air combat. If that means taking out ground targets, then great. I mean, I don't know how many times I've been in a light fighter and not been able to flip a sector because I couldn't do enough ground damage or do no ground damage at all. You still have that issue to a lesser extent in heavy fighters, because not a lot of the heavy fighters in the game can do a whole lot of ground damage. There are definitely some, so don't mix up my words. But true multi-rolls in this game are some of the most impactful. You might not get the best results as far as personal points is concerned. You might not get the best chevrons in the game, but your win rate, if you play those types of planes and are able to have a positive impact on the battle, basically if you're able to negate the enemy team's attacks, or if you're able to overcome their defenses, really strong multi-rolls can completely help your win rate, just because you're able to, do I need to attack? Okay, I'll attack. Do I need to defend? Okay, I'll defend. And so there's those well-balanced multi-rolls that are in the game, which there are some good ones, can determine and impact the outcome of a battle. Again, your chevrons and personal points might not necessarily reflect that because you're doing a little bit of everything instead of solely focusing on defense or solely focusing on offense. But I guarantee I've had more battles where I was able to turn around a battle because the multi-roll did what it needed. What I could in the multi-roll to determine that outcome, rather than just being stuck in. I've been stuck in fighter games where got aces but defeats because I wasn't able to do anything other than just defend a sector, defend a couple sectors, and wasn't able to attack sectors. So yeah. Anyway, this is just one of my favorite planes in the game at this point. There's a lot of good planes at Tier 9, to be honest. This is definitely one of them, just being able to go above and beyond. So a couple things that I've done with the setup on this plane to help out with my interactions. I've gone ahead and kind of done a mixed build here. So definitely going all in on maneuverability as far as equipment is concerned. I did for a little while have polished skin, but that took away from the maneuverability. I wanted to add some airspeed. I decided, you know what? No matter what, this plane is not going to be like the fastest thing out there, and it's really, that's not its MO. If you want a fast plane with these guns, go get an HG2. Go get a German heavy fighter. That's what you want. This plane's its forte is really getting stuck in and getting its guns on targets quickly enough to be able to take them out before they can really do some major damage to you. So what I did instead, I put the advanced reinforced skin on here. Yeah, it slows it down even more, but I don't get my wings and tail knocked out nearly as often, which is really, really important for this plane because once your tail or wings are knocked out, you kind of just float around, and you're probably going to die very quickly. I've put gas-operated action on here to get the forward-firing guns, just putting out more volume. Couple different things about this. Obviously, it impacts the accuracy, but they're pretty short-range guns, all things considered. And I just play it like a shotgun effect. Yeah, I had a situation there when I was chasing down some of those air defense aircraft that it wasn't quite registering. That was more on me. I needed to aim a little bit further ahead. Eventually, some of those shots are going to hit. You've got four freaking cannon shots going out. Something's going to hit. And it's no matter what, it's going to do a lot of damage. So the accuracy is not having the accuracy negated is fine in my opinion, just because the rate of fire is increased so much. I do have a little bit of a buff to the forward firing accuracy here with the gyroscopic sight. Plus, some of the bonus characteristics on this are certainly helpful when it comes to setting fires and just hitting maneuvering targets. Being a Japanese plane, I've gone all in when it comes to reducing fire chance. So because I've specialized it, I put the bleed system in here. Obviously, I've got the pneumatic control assist in those situations where I desperately need some more maneuverability, like when I went against that attacker. I was able to knock out his tail, combined with the pneumatic control assist and some finagling with the direction of my attack, was able to outmaneuver that attacker. Engine cooling on here, just so if I need to get to another sector very quickly, I can use that 10 seconds worth of boost and get there to either defend or attack another sector as quickly as possible. As far as my pilot is concerned, nothing too crazy over the top. It's just an 8-point pilot, which I know isn't like the best by any means. I know it's not the worst. I believe this is the pilot that I brought up from the J7M. I think my A7M pilot is still my A7M pilot. That was the pilot that I brought up during the fighters. When I got the Multirole pilot, he was in the J7W2, and I moved him to this plane, and that's why it's an 8-point pilot. I went for the marksman options on here. Marksman 2 specifically is really important in my opinion because it helps with that accuracy, firing against maneuvering targets. Always helpful. First skill point should always be firefighter on a Japanese fighter. The Japanese heavy fighters not so much, but the fighters and multi-role fighters, you definitely want to have firefighter skill. The reason being is again, it extinguishes the fire when you're actively maneuvering. You're typically actively maneuvering in a 0 or a key or a Jawa. And so if you're not maneuvering, it's very easy to get into maneuvering. Just start turning, and you'll put out the fire in less than 2 seconds, right? And so typically that's all. Sometimes I'll be set on fire while I'm in a dogfight, and it'll like go out in half a second because I'm already actively maneuvering. And so that's why I love the firefighter skill. That's why I prefer the firefighter skill on any plane that gets set on fire relatively often. And that's why I use, for my consumables, I use the first aid kit, because that way I don't need to have a one-trick pony consumable in the firefight and in the fire extinguisher skill. The fire extinguisher consumable over here. That way I can use this first aid kit, which will help my pilot plus put out fires. So you get 2 birds, 1 stone when it comes to this consumable. I don't use fire extinguisher for basically anything, just because of this exact reason. I actually probably don't want Engine Guru 1 on here. What I would prefer, I'd be tempted to change Engine Guru to actually put on Aerodynamics Expert, because it would buff the maneuverability so much more. Alright, so eventually I will, once I get to 12 points, put both Aerodynamics and Aerobatics Expert. Oh, couldn't even remember the name of it. That's obviously when I get to a 12-point pilot. I don't have any 12-point pilots in the game. I think my highest point pilot is the F-86 Sabre. It's 11 points. He's 11 points. But by putting the Aerodynamics Expert and then the Aerobatics Expert, I'm going to get the maneuverability on this plane built up pretty darn well. And then I still haven't even fully upgraded the equipment. So the maneuverability on this plane is pretty deadly anyway. I'm at 69 on the maneuverability, and I'm pretty sure I can probably get it well above 80 after all those, once I get a 12-point pilot on here. Which would be pretty ridiculous, all things considered, how strong these front-firing guns are. Anyway, that's enough about the J7W2. I absolutely love this plane. If you're going down the 0 line, this is what you have to look forward to eventually. The J7W1 wasn't quite my cup of tea. The guns were just a little bit too short on the firing range, and the plane was still really, really slow. The J7W2 opened up a whole world of possibilities. But the very much increased speed and boost speed, for that matter, and then the increased range and damage of the guns. The J7W2 is almost like double the power of a J7W1 just because of that huge combination of upgrades that you get. I absolutely love it. If you're going down the 0 line and you're struggling, or you're just kind of meandering, this is what you've got to look forward to eventually. Super heavy hitting, really well balanced multi-role fighters at the top tier. Anyway, I appreciate you staying around, hanging out with my rambling here. I will hop off now, and I will I'll catch y'all later. Bye.